Hey, welcome to the Homemade Songwriter. I'm Matt, and today I just want to talk about some recent songwriting that I did and break down some lessons that I learned that I think will be helpful to you. So last weekend over the Easter break, I wrote 4 songs in 4 days, and I'm super excited about it. You might be thinking, Matt, you tell us to write songs every day, to write every day consistently. Why are you excited about 4 songs in 4 days? Well, because I've had sort of a slump recently. So I got this new guitar and I'm super excited about it. It sounds different than my usual workhorse guitar. And I was really excited to explore what songs are inside of this new guitar. But I put way too much pressure on, well, what's the first song I'm going to write on this new guitar? What new creative heights will this guitar take me to? And I mean, way too much pressure. So that created a whole bunch of mental blocks in my songwriting process where I just haven't been able to finish anything. And combined with that, the fact that I now have 2 kids under the age of 3 in my house, and so you've got a very tired Matt who is suffering from writer's block. So since I got this guitar, I have not written a song until last weekend. So just a quick overview of the songs I wrote. The first one is the first song I wrote. It's a song called Bogo, which if you don't know, Bogo stands for buy one, get one. It's usually like a shopping reference, buy one, get one free. It's kind of a chunky, that kind of stuff, which I think sounds really good on this guitar. And it's a little bit of it's a little cheesy, but hey, I had to get a song out. I actually ended up really liking it, even though it's a little more on the cheesier side of things that I've written. The whole thing is kind of a metaphor for a relationship and how oftentimes when we go into a relationship, we're looking for love, but sometimes it doesn't work out. And so you end up getting heartbreak for free. So it's kind of a buy one, get one. You bought love, but you got heartbreak for free. And so I kind of explore these shopping metaphors back and forth. It's a fun song. I like it. So just to give you a taste of kind of what this song is, here's some lines from verse 2. It says, "No refunds, no returns on relationships. Just check out, then you pay for it one way or another. Next time I'll only pay for top quality. Call it company policy to find my lover." Which I really like because there's kind of some double meaning in both those things. No refunds, no returns on relationships. Just check out, then you pay for it. Like you're checking someone out, but also you check out at a store at the register, and then I'll only pay for top quality next time. Call it company policy, which is something you hear a lot when you're trying to do returns and refunds. But this is company policy, who I'm going to spend my company with. So anyways, that's kind of the gist of that song. But the fun thing was the way it was written. So I've been putting my youngest down for his naps, and so I decided to pop in an AirPod and listen to some voice memos that I'd made. And so I listened to a voice memo, thought, yeah, that's a cool voice memo. Popped over to my song seeds list, picked a song seed, and didn't give any thought, didn't like go back and forth, what should I do? Just picked a song seed, picked an idea and said, let's do it. And as I'm rocking him to sleep, I'm just typing lyrics on my phone. And I wrote a whole song that way, which was super cool. And it was kind of broken up between a couple different naps, but I completed a song while putting my son to sleep. So that was like breaking new ground to me because it's been really hard to find time to play my guitar, let alone write a song. And so that was kind of a cool new trick that I learned. I ended up doing that for every single one of these songs. And once I wrote that first song, once I wrote Bogo, it's like the dam that was in my brain that had like blocked my creative juices was broken open. And then all of a sudden I was like creating that, then I wrote 3 more songs over the next 3 days. And I think it just kind of gave me a confidence of like, oh yeah, I do know how to write a song. So I did, and I'm really pleased with it. So then the next day I wrote a song called Shade Tree, which is actually my favorite of the 4. I'm probably going to post it on this channel in a couple weeks. More of a finger picking, more classic, my style. I like a lot of these kind of finger-picking songs. Something about it is different, or I guess I should say something about it similar to what I've done in the past, similar to my style, but also I feel like it's also a very different song than I've ever written before. I picture songs and music a lot of times in colors, and so this song to me is orange, and I've never written an orange song, so that was really interesting to me. Then the next day I wrote a song called That Kind of Love, which is more D shapes. Kind of a love ballad. It's the song for my wife. And then day 4 I wrote a song called Faker, which is honestly not even worth sharing to you. It's my least favorite of the 4, but I wrote another song and it felt good to write a song. It's not like the worst song in the world. I just am not that into it. I wrote it thinking it was something cool I wanted to say, like a cool message I wanted to convey, but at the end of the day I think the music and the words didn't really mesh well, so it comes across, unfinished or clunky, I guess. But let me get to the lessons of what I learned in this whole process. I think were my big takeaways, things that I knew but that I relearned that I think are really helpful to reiterate to you. I've got 3 lessons for you. So the first one is the just overwhelming importance of song seeds. So song seeds is a concept we talk about a lot on this channel. It's the writing that you do every day. You hear a lot of people say, if you want to be a good writer, you got to write every day. And I 100% agree with that. We push that on this channel all the time. But I think people get confused because they think, oh, if I've got to write every day, I got to write a full song every day. That's daunting. Maybe they do it day one, then they quit. And they think, this is not for me. But writing every day doesn't have to look like writing your next masterpiece every single day. It could be bite-sized pieces. Hey, you wrote a verse this day, and then on Tuesday you wrote another verse. On Wednesday you wrote an idea of a song. On Thursday you wrote one line. On Friday, you played your guitar a little bit and came up with a chord progression. There are a lot of things we can do as songwriters that fuel the songwriting process, and one of them is just creating something consistently. So if you're in the habit of practicing coming up with song ideas and musical ideas, then you're just going to get better at that skill, no matter how big or how small those ideas are. So when I sat down to write these songs, I had a list of song ideas. Some of them were lyric ideas. Like I said, for Bogo, the song seed was, I bought love but got heartbreak for free. That's what I had written in the note of my phone. And for Shade Tree, the song seed idea just said, carve our names into a shade tree. That's all it was. It was just, to me, it was like a mental image that I thought was cool. That Kind of Love had I think it was just one of the lines of one of the verses. For Faker, that was just the word faker. That was like a song title idea that I had. So the reason I had those is because I take time when I'm walking and going through my life to write down things, write down lyric ideas, write down song ideas, write down title ideas for potential songs, and I collect them all in a note. And then, when I get a chance to play my guitar, sometimes it's just for 5 minutes, sometimes it's for an hour. Every time I play my guitar, I try to come up with something, and if I like it, then I just record it. And the important part of this process is that this creation time, it needs to be a completely judgment-free zone. You're not worried about what could this become? Could this be the next big thing? Just create and record. Make sure you capture as much as you can. And then later you can put on that, critical thinking review hat and cut the things that are bad and elevate the things that are good. So for me, I go through my voice memos once a week or so, and I put light bulbs next to the ideas I think are good. That way, when I sit down to write a song, I can pull up my voice memos, look at all the ones with light bulbs. Those are the ones I know, hey, I already said I like these ones. And then I just pick one of those. So get in the habit of creating and capturing ideas, because song seeds really are very beneficial, and they can accelerate your entire songwriting process, especially if you have limited time. Lesson number 2 is to work quickly. So this is kind of a twofold for me. This was a different process because typically I'm a very pen and paper kind of songwriter, which is kind of the long way. It's a little more clunky when I'm writing, but I just like the aesthetic of writing, putting ink to paper and capturing my songs in a journal that I think is cool, But when I was rocking my son to sleep, I didn't have the option of trying to also write in a journal. So for me, this is the first time I was just writing lyrics on my phone, like the entire song, which was a lot quicker, honestly. And, I could just go back and forth between the Rhyme Zone app and my Notes app and just my voice memos app, and then just create a song. So finding ways that you can accelerate the process and make sure you're getting lyrics down quickly is helpful. But the other part of working quickly that I want to emphasize here is making decisions quickly. I made a conscious effort as I was writing these songs to make decisions on lyrics quickly, make decisions on rhymes quickly, because it's really easy for me to set up a rhyme and then go to Rhyme Zone, and then I won't rest until I've explored every possible rhyme and every lyric idea that could be inspired by those rhymes, and it's exhausting. And then by the time I get to the end, I'm like, I don't know what to do, and then I get paralyzed because there's too many choices. The best thing to do is, if you can come up with a rhyme in your head, a line that comes naturally, put it down and just move on. Don't think, well, what if there's a better line out there? Finish the song, and then you can always go back and punch up your lyrics and make them better. But there's something to having momentum in songwriting and like keeping that ball moving towards the finish line. I think in a lot of ways, the quicker you can get to the finish line, the better, and then you can go back and make edits if you need to. Because once you get hung up on one word rhyme or a certain line or the verse 2 or the bridge or whatever it is, once that momentum comes to a stop, it's really hard to get it going again. And a lot of times, at least for me, that's where I quit and I go, well, I don't know, I run out of time and I have to move on and I don't come back to it. Where if I was making decisions quickly, I would have a finished song. And the third and final tip is that finished is better than perfect. It was really cool on day 4 to look back and say, 4 days ago I had no songs. I had no songs, but I had written a song in a long time, and now I have 4 new songs. That's just a cool feeling. And even though I don't like all of them, I still listen to them all the time because it's so fun to create something out of nothing. And they're not perfect. And that's kind of the point, is that they're finished. And so if I want to go back and make them better and edit them, I can do that. but you can't do that if the song's not finished. Not to mention the side effect of each time I finished a song, I gained a little bit more confidence going into my next writing session of, okay, I just wrote a song. I can do this. I remember how to do this. I've done this before. I can do it again. But don't overlook the fact that Bogo, that first song I wrote on day one, in my opinion, is slightly cheesy. It's not the cheesiest song. I actually really do like it, but it's a little on the cheesier end of what I would like to be presentable song that I put on an album or something. And so I had to finish it. I had to get through and write a slightly cheesy song. And that led a breakthrough for me writing, one of my favorite songs I've written in a couple years, which is Shade Tree. So finishing songs allowed me to keep going and keep writing and create new things that I wouldn't have created otherwise. So those are my tips. That's what I learned from my recent songwriting experience. I'd love to hear how your songwriting experience is going. And if we can help you in any way, please leave it in the comments below. We'd love to make a video about it and do everything we can to make you a better songwriter. And in that same vein, don't forget we have, as always, in the description a link to our songwriting prompts, 30 songwriting prompts to jumpstart your creativity. These are song seeds, just like we talked about in that tip. These are song seeds that I'm giving to you to hopefully help you write songs. I'll also link our chord progression cheat sheet that also makes writing chord progressions easier. Download those. I think they'll be a big help to you. But that's it for this one. Keep writing. We'll see you in the next one.